Trigger warnings: depression, mental health struggles. AITA for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy. I have always supported my girlfriend. We have been together for 4 years now and have lived together for 1. She has always had anxiety as well as depression, and some months are worse than others. I have supported her through all of this and understand it is very hard for her. In January, she lost her job due to the current world circumstances. By March, she had hit a low point with not eating as much, crying, and irritability, typical traits of depression. I have comforted her as much as possible and taken care of everything. However, at the beginning of June, I was allowed back to work, and since then, the house has fallen into shambles. I am too tired by the time I come home to do anything, even cook. Most nights, we order takeout, and on the rare occasion, she makes food. The floors aren't being washed, hoovering isn't being done, laundry is a mountain, and dishes are everywhere. I try to keep on top of it, but with work, it is almost impossible. She is home all day. She lies in bed till late afternoon, watches Netflix, eats bowls of cereal, and naps. That's about it. I've tried to gently coax her to do more, and she says she will get to it but never does. I finally snapped and told her I was sick of her doing nothing all day and leaving the housework to me. If she is here and I am working, she needs to be pulling her weight. She got upset and said that she wants to, but she can never find the motivation. She is tired all the time. I said I understood she was depressed, but that isn't an excuse to do nothing and be lazy. No one likes housework, but I won't make any more excuses about it. She needs to start doing it or leave. The next day I came home to a clean house and a note from her saying she was sorry and was going to stay with her mother. Her mom helped her clean before they left. I tried calling, but she wouldn't pick up. When I called the house, her mother answered and had a lot to say. She was furious. She is telling me about how she is struggling and how I am making her worse. I should be supporting her, not ignoring the fact that she is in a bad place, and so on. I was told my girlfriend had been crying all day in her bedroom, and I feel awful. I never wanted to hurt her, I just snapped. I tried to get her mother to give my girlfriend the phone, but she wouldn't speak to me. It feels like a lose-lose situation. On one hand, I know depression results in a lack of motivation and cleanliness, and on the other hand, I can't stand to see our home in such chaos. I've never had depression, so I can't say for sure how bad it truly is. That's why I find it more difficult to 100% empathize. AITA for telling her depression isn't an excuse. Extra info. She has a therapist and talks regularly with them. Her depression has worsened since losing her job. Usually, she is quite clean and tidy. We don't usually have this issue. She is looking for a job, despite depression, etc. I have enough money to support us both in the meantime. Relevant comments. Opposite sock. Coming out of lurker mode for this one. Gentle YTA. I'm sure you mean well, but depression is hard to understand and can be all-consuming for those experiencing it. When I'm in a bad depressive episode, it can be hard to just get out of bed to brush my teeth because even that feels overwhelming. If there are 5 things to clean, I can't figure out where to start and feel like I'll fail if I don't do everything, so nothing gets done. It's awful and feels very shameful and lonely. Now she is probably feeling judged by you and doubling down on that horrible internal shame. It's easier to keep up with tasks than to tackle everything at once. Mess feeds depression. Maybe you could try cleaning together. Having a tidier space will help her have a clearer mind and keep up with it better. That's my experience, anyway. And I fully support gently encouraging her to talk to a medical doctor, preferably a psychiatrist, about medication. Talk therapy alone doesn't do it for some people, myself included. It sounds like her therapist isn't great, but switching therapists can be really daunting and traumatic, so if she trusts them, it might not be the best first move right now. For you, I highly suggest reading some Ali Brosh. She has some of the most real and relatable writing on depression. Start with Depression Part 2. I've sent this to many people as a way to understand a bit of what it is like. It sounds like you want what's best for her, but try to educate yourself on what depression really feels like, not just how you can fix it. I hope she finds her shriveled piece of corn soon. OP. Thank you. I'll give that a read. Spisabread 99. Nah, I have depression and anxiety. It's hard to deal with it. I often have a hard time cleaning up after myself, which worsens during low times. I understand her lack of motivation, but you have the right to want to come home to a clean home. Working full-time and taking care of a house without any help is hard. To me, it sounds like her moving back in with her mother came from more of an anxiety standpoint. My anxiety is significantly worse than my depression, and whenever my boyfriend even gets slightly annoyed at me, I go completely out of my way to overcompensate. Example, I spent the night at his house one night, and my dog threw up on his bed. I felt so bad, and in addition to cleaning his bedding really well, I went out and bought him new sheets and a blanket. He never asked for new sheets, he just asked that I clean the puke off his comforter. I also cleaned his whole room. This might be what is going on here, but that's just speaking from my personal experience. The whole situation stinks. Nah, my dude. When she's ready, just ask what she needs from you. Mental health issues are hard to live with for everyone involved. OP. Oh yes, she is a little similar. Her anxiety makes her sensitive, and she does overcompensate a lot. On one of our early dates, she spilled a drink on me by accident. Next time, she had a brand new expensive shirt for me, including a tie, after I said it was fine. And that shirt she bought was expensive. Started her period in my bed, which I assured her was absolutely fine, and like you, she went out and bought new sheets and a mattress protector. I think she overthinks things a lot, and when she does something wrong, she thinks it's the end of the world, and she needs to make it up to me. After I snapped, I could see why she cleaned the house. I do not like that some people are suggesting she cleaned it up to be manipulative. That is not her at all. Update. Ultimately, I realize that the majority of the blame is mine. I never, ever should have called her lazy, because that isn't what she is. I lashed out, and I shouldn't have. She stayed at her mother's house for a few days, and we eventually met up to talk. I told her how it just got too much for me, but it was no excuse for lashing out, and I apologized. She apologized also, not that she needed to, and we talked for a long while about how we could make our relationship work. I expressed my concerns over her therapist, who is very against anything other than talking therapy. She agreed that he didn't seem to really have her best interests at heart, and she is currently looking for someone new. For now, I suggested she stop looking for work. She got a lot of rejections, and I could see it was upsetting her more. I just felt we should take a step back from that, and I want her to focus a little more on herself. She was unsure, as she felt bad that I would be working for both of us, but I assured her it was fine. I also suggested maybe she could volunteer at some point just to get her out and get some more stuff on her resume. I'm no therapist, so these were just suggestions, but it has seemed to have taken some of the pressure off her, which is all I wanted. We agreed that being in the apartment all day alone and in bed was not good for her. So, we came up with the plan that she do an exercise video 3 times a week, just so she is doing something. She has found she likes doing them. They make her feel a bit better after, and she has started something called yin yoga now too. To help me, she has 1 chore a day to do. I don't care what it is. It could be dishes, or it could just be putting the laundry in the hamper. This rule has at least gotten her out of bed for part of the day, and she's found that once she starts, she sometimes ends up doing more than one thing. I make sure to show my appreciation for whatever she has done, no matter how small. We have set out that every Sunday we will have a deep cleaning day where we get everything done for the week. This has been surprisingly successful. We make it fun and just mess around while still getting things done. It makes the week a lot more manageable when we only have light chores to keep on top of. She is trying more, and I am also working on being more supportive about her depression. I'm researching it more and learning ways I can help her because it is a part of her. We are both putting in more effort and communicating a lot better. I hope we keep making progress because I do love her very much and want us to work. Relevant comments. Wilna Kukaracha. If she likes animals, she could try volunteering at an animal shelter, where she could possibly play with puppies and kittens and take the dogs for walks. I found that volunteering at an animal shelter was like animal therapy for me and really helped with my anxiety. I'm happy that you two found something that worked. I wish you guys the best. OP. I've actually been encouraging her to start volunteering at an animal shelter for these exact reasons. I want her to get out a bit more just to get some fresh air and do some walking. I think it would be good for her. And she loves dogs, so it's bound to help cheer her up a little too. Thanks for the advice. Thank you for watching the video.